Dexter, Resurrection is back this week with episode 7, and once again another seat has been pulled away at PRA's twisted table, leaving only 2. This episode packed in a lot. The long-standing theory about Mia possibly still being alive was finally put to rest. The Gemini killer met his inevitable match in Dexter. Leon Prater revealed himself to be even more disturbed than we imagined, and the ending teased a shocking setup where Dexter may have unknowingly led Batista straight toward Prater, exposing him as the sinister puppet master he truly is. The ending of this week's episode carried huge weight. With Batista snooping around, he believes he's on the verge of uncovering Dexter, maybe finally proving he's connected to these murders. But in reality, the ending wasn't about exposing Dexter at all, it was about exposing Leon Prater. Prater's entire world, built on secrecy and obsession, could crumble if Batista follows the trail. And thanks to Dexter, that's exactly what might happen. Right at the very end, Batista deliberately planted his AirPods inside Dexter's car as a tracker. Throughout this season, the show has hammered home that Dexter always drives himself whenever heading to PRA's mansion. It was even reinforced again after their castle visit when he declined a ride. So now, with Prater hinting at one last dinner before the meeting concludes, it's inevitable that Dexter will drive himself there again. And that means Batista could follow the tracker directly to Prater's doorstep. If that happens, Batista won't just find Dexter. He'll stumble upon Rapunzel, Charlie, Prater, and Dexter together, a suspicious lineup if there ever was one. I can even imagine a sacrificial killing taking place at this final dinner. This setup could go in multiple directions. One possibility is Batista being killed on sight. After all, Charlie is essentially hired muscle whose sole purpose is to eliminate threats. Or, Batista could become the one person who blows Dexter's cover, exposing that he's not really Red Schmid and flipping the entire dinner upside down. Either way, Batista's small move with the tracker could be the catalyst for explosive drama in the final episodes. Even he has no idea how dangerous this trail really is. There are consequences waiting, and I can't wait to see whether Batista escapes alive, or if Dexter's identity finally unravels because of it. Personally, I suspect Batista might try to recruit Detective Wallace before confronting Prater, but since Dexter planted seeds of doubt in her mind, convincing her that Batista is spiraling after learning his partner was the Bay Harbor butcher, she won't take him seriously. That leaves Batista heading into the lion's den alone, which is a terrifying thought. Meanwhile, Dexter managed to course correct in a major way. Last week there were 2 Gemini killers. Now? None. Dexter confronted Gareth, revealing he knew the truth, that Gemini was a pair of twins. The Gemini killer was impressed by Dexter's deduction, but his ego betrayed him. He loved talking about himself, boasting about his superiority, and couldn't resist giving too much away. During the confrontation, Dexter revealed he had already killed Gareth's twin. This pushed Gareth into a frenzy. He lashed out with a wine glass, but Dexter turned the tables and killed him on the spot, erasing the last of the Gemini threat. The episode's title, Course Correction, summed it up perfectly. Dexter not only killed the last twin but also pinned Lel's disappearance on Gareth, painting him as the culprit and ensuring Dexter himself didn't appear suspicious. Charlie had her doubts, though, since Gemini killers always struck in pairs, but Dexter's cover story was airtight enough to buy him time. We also got a look at Al during the show and tell sequence. On the surface, he's charming and easygoing, but once in kill mode, he becomes completely deranged. His fixation on the kill screen was chilling, evil, obsessive, almost gleeful. That's what pushed Dexter to despise him and eventually mark him as a target. Dexter may have wiped out the Gemini killers and kept suspicion at bay for now, but the Batista storyline shows that his life is about to spiral into even more chaos. On a softer note, we saw Dexter trying to be there for Harrison in ways we've rarely seen before, going with him to college viewings, encouraging him to focus on his future rather than his darker impulses. But Harrison's story is far from over. Elsa mentioned once again that her landlord was being difficult, and it seems inevitable that Harrison will take matters into his own hands. If that landlord pushes too far, I wouldn't be surprised if Harrison lashes out violently. College and Gigi might look like a bright path forward for him, but it feels like his darker side is going to derail those plans. If it happens, Dexter will blame himself, but in reality, Harrison's darkness may be something he simply can't stop. Then there's Leon Prater. He claimed honesty is the best policy, and in his conversations with Dexter, he related deeply to Dexter's hidden truth about killing. He revealed how his obsession with killers began, with the tragic death of his parents in a hit-and-run by Colin, who deliberately murdered them to vent his rage. Colin had killed before, and this act ignited Prater's fascination with murderers. Instead of hating him, Prater befriended Colin, feeling more connected to killers than to his own family. He even admitted Dexter reminded him of Colin, the man who gave him his first trophy. Prater's motto, "The truth is never boring," was chilling, and it made me wonder. Does he already know Dexter isn't really Red Schmid? He's far too intelligent to miss it. Perhaps he's playing along, saving the reveal for his own twisted reasons. After all, Prater has lied before. He concealed his role in Mia's death. And when he casually announced her death while sipping the red wine she loved, it felt disturbingly symbolic, almost like he was drinking her blood. We also got more on Charlie. Her protective nature around Prater was fascinating, especially her warnings about exposure at the castle, which he ignored. Her speech about masks being torn down seemed to connect to her own backstory, likely tied to her sick mother and her inability to live as her true self. Then there was the New York Ripper. We finally heard his voice, but honestly, I don't think that was really him. The timeline doesn't fit. The Ripper would be much older now, and the voice didn't sound like an older man at all. My theory? It could be a copycat or even Prater himself. We've seen how obsessed he is with the details of killings, almost euphoric in his excitement. Maybe he can't bring himself to kill, so tormenting families by impersonating the Ripper is his way of feeding that obsession. I doubt we'll get a full reveal this season. It feels like a mystery they'll save for season 2 if we're lucky enough to get one. As for my review, this episode was incredible. The show keeps getting better week after week. Yes, they've stuck to the formula of eliminating one killer per episode, but it still manages to surprise me every time. The Gemini kill felt right, fitting, gruesome, and deeply satisfying. And saving Al for later is perfect, because based on those disturbing facial expressions, he's clearly one of the darkest characters left. Prater's backstory was another highlight. It finally gave depth to one of the show's most mysterious figures. His connection to his parents' killer explained his obsession, and his philosophy was hauntingly believable. I also love the short, sharp previews at the start of each episode. They build excitement perfectly. One of my favorite moments was Dexter flipping the script on Gareth. The way he shifted from admiration to brutal honesty, admitting he killed Gareth's twin, was chilling. And that final desperate slash from Gareth, exposing himself just to hurt Dexter, was as brutal as it was brilliant. What makes this series so strong is that every storyline feels compelling. Whether we're with Dexter, Harrison, Batista, Wallace, or Prater, the tension never dips. The pacing is perfect, the writing is sharp, and the stakes are only climbing higher. With just 2 episodes left, the season has absolutely flown by, and next week promises to be huge. If Dexter really drops Leon Prater into Batista's lap, everything could explode. So, there you have it, Dexter, Resurrection Episode 7 ending explained. If you want to see more breakdowns and theories, check out the playlist below. And now it's your turn. What did you think of this episode? Do you think Batista makes it out alive, or does this final dinner end in blood? Drop your thoughts in the comments.